Matt's here now, but at least the temperature's going in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly, right. I mean, it's still hot, like I said, but, 103 is better than 108, and tomorrow will be better than today. Let's take you outside right now. There is a nice, cool spot, the Oregon coast. Look at Cannon Beach just beaming brightly under that coastal sunshine, and you know what? It's 70.
That sounds so good.
We didn't even get that cold last night in the Portland area, so yeah, that sounds really good, and I'm sure feels great. 103, the final high in Portland, 100 in Aurora, 101 in McMinnville and in Kelso, 102 at Troutdale. Hood River stops right at 100 degrees. The Dalles made 107. And it looks like that may end up being the hot spot in Oregon this afternoon, and that'll be the case for the next several days. The hottest area is now shifting east of the Cascades. We're starting to see a little bit of onshore flow at the coast, which is why we had 70s and 80s there. We're still not seeing fog or low cloud develop in a large way up the coast. We'll wait for that hopefully for tomorrow. But what we are seeing are thunderstorms developing over central Oregon. Normally we'd be concerned about this, and there is still a concern because they are producing lightning. But see where the smoke is? That's where the fires are. See where the storms are? Almost right on top of it. So they're at least getting cloud cover over that right now. When we zoom in on Doppler radar, these storms are getting awfully close to those fires. Now, it won't be enough to put the fires out. So don't think it's going to be the thing that does that. I mean, thunderstorms, you may only get rain in maybe a square mile area, and the fires are much bigger than that, but any little bit could help. So it'd be awesome if we got at least a little bit of rain over those fires. Thunderstorm threat tomorrow in roughly the same areas you see highlighted here. Okay, the weather system producing those storms is an area of low pressure in the upper atmosphere, spinning around west of San Francisco, and that's giving us this easterly flow. Above that, we had all this high pressure and all the hot air, but it's beginning to break down, and eventually we're going to see a storm system from the Gulf of Alaska move on in. What happens to this guy remains to be seen. They may just form one big old party together and move on in. This one may back on off to the south or move over us and give us a chance of sprinkles over the weekend. I think the most likely thing is it recedes away and we just get cooler air coming in Thursday night. That seems fairly certain. Keep an eye on the tropics too. This is Hurricane Greg. It will move south of Hawaii, won't cause the problems that its predecessor did with the strong winds that fanned the fires there in Maui. This is a hurricane as well named Fernandez. Beginning to weaken, it was a Category 4, may provide rain to the islands. That would be awesome in the days ahead. Give it about 3-4 days to get out there. And then this big old unorganized area of thunderstorms is likely going to form into a tropical storm and eventually a hurricane named Hillary is what it would be. And that may move up the west coast. We'll keep an eye on that, but eventually that could produce rain Southern California and Arizona in the days ahead next week. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Meanwhile, for us, see how the heat is breaking? Notice how the red, the darkest colors here, broke apart into two areas. That's because the system out of the Gulf of Alaska moves on in, and that returns the cooler air Thursday night and into Friday and beyond. And that area of low pressure off California stays that way, but we have a nice cool weekend coming at us. And once this heat wave breaks, I think the excessive heat stays away. Now, there's still a big hot air mass over the four corners and the plains, but it doesn't look like it'll be building back into the northwest by the end of the month. So we'll keep our eyes on that and see how it goes after this. And we will get through this. We'll see the increasing clouds on the coast as we go to tomorrow night and Thursday, and then thunderstorms again possible tomorrow afternoon. But look, suddenly there's the marine layer at the coast on Thursday night, and that'll provide us with more normal and cooler and pleasant weather for Friday and the weekend. We are 101 right now. The freezing level is still very high, up near 17,000 feet, but it's a little lower than yesterday. Again, a good sign going in the right direction. So very warm overnight. We'll drop into the upper 60s, which we did not do last night. We tied for the record for the warmest August night by only dropping to 73. We won't be below that, not even close tonight, so that's in the bag. Tomorrow's high about 100, and then 95 on Thursday. Hard to believe 95 sounds reasonable, but it does after these last 3-4 days, and then in the 80s after that.
We can see the relief. We just can't feel it yet, right?
It's coming.
Oh, bring back those 80s. Thank you, Matt. Next.